G'day guys, Will Kitching here. Welcome back to another video and thank you so much for joining us. Now today I'm doing something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I'm going to show you what we're seeing on our sounder while we're out here snapper fishing. Now I want to do a lot more of this in the future and go in depth into it, but for today I'm just going to be testing the waters, and I've still got to figure out how to film it and what's the best way and everything like that. But I get a lot of questions about what we're looking for on the sounder. I'll also give you a bit of info on what sounder we use. It is very, very simple, very basic and old school, but does the job. So if we can do it with our simple sounder, you guys can too. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video, and fingers crossed catching a nice feeder snapper here off the Gold Coast. Before we get into it, I also just want to say a really big thank you to all of you that have been using my Salty Captain discount code. As I said, it gets you guys 15% off all products on their website, so it helps you guys out, but it also helps me out because I get a tiny little kickback as well when you guys make a purchase, which I've been putting back into the channel to make these videos for you. So thank you so much again, and if you do want to use it, it's on screen now. It'll get you 15% off all your cleaning products for your boats, jet skis, four-wheel drives, cars, caravans, all of that. So go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description, but for now we are going to try and catch a snapper. So we'll pick up where we started this morning in a little bit closer, and yeah, hopefully we can finish our bag and get a nice feed. Stay tuned. We were heading out to our spot at first light. Now we usually like to be dropping a bait by now, but the boat ramp was super busy, which slowed us down a bit. Check out that scenery though, that is postcard worthy. Once we get to the spot, the first thing we do is have a look around with the sounder, so I thought I'd walk you through what we're seeing. At the moment, we're slowly driving up along the reef towards our actual mark or spot, which you'll soon see is a larger lump of reef that rises up. All of the red crosses on the left of the screen are where we've either seen good bommies or schools of fish in the past and marked them. You'll also see the black icon, which is the boat. This whole area is rough and reefy, and while this definitely still holds bait and fish at times, they will most likely be concentrated around the larger structure that we're about to show you up ahead. Okay, we're approaching our actual mark now, and you'll see that the lump of reef rises up about 4 or 5 meters higher than the rest of the area. It has a tiny bit of fish life holding tight to it, but no thick shows of bait or larger fish yet. These are the types of large lumps to look for though. Now you'll see we're starting to come down the other side of it, and the depth gradually drops from around 39 or 40 meters back down to 44. I actually think this could be the front edge of the reef system. Here, I turn around and drive back towards the lump from another angle, so you'll see the bottom rising up again here. While there's no good shows of fish on it, this is what we look for, and we'll show you some bigger shows of fish later in the video. Even though there wasn't much happening on the sounder, we decided to have a drop anyway, as we know that this spot holds good snapper at times, such as this one. We drifted onto a few patchy shows of fish like this one here. Even though this is only a small school, they're a fair way up off the bottom, which indicates to me that they're most likely feeding snapper. This is what happened when I dropped a bait on them. Yep.
You on?
Yep. Good fish too.
Is it?
Gee, Jack.
You on?
Yeah.
On the drop or?
Yeah. On the drop.
Is it a good fish?
Yeah. First drop. Oh yeah, there's a bit of stuff just on the sounder now. Not much.
Oh yeah, handy. Sorry. Good landing, Dad.
There's a nice one to start off. I'm just going to drop this plastic down that's in the rod holder because there's some on the screen at the moment. Before I could even get the hooks out of that first fish, the soft plastic did get hit and we landed our second fish of the day. That's the first drop, guys. Not a monster. but a nice panty. It's already got a little knob on its head. Hit me hard on the drop and there was some more on the sounder, so we're just going to deal with him and go straight back up and drop on them again while it's early. But yeah, nice start anyway. It's nice and calm, as you can see, which really helps when we're slowly floating our baits and lures down. So let's make the most of it while we're here.
The plastic got hit again as soon as it went down.
On. No.
Not big.
This was only a small fish, but funnily enough, it threw up one of Dad's pilchards that it had picked off.
Oh, he threw up your pilly.
Yep.
So Dad just had a little picker bite and the fish I just caught threw it up. Threw up his bait.
While I was getting that little tacker back in the water, Dad hooked up to something solid.
That's a better fish.
Better fish?
Yeah, that's a good
Oh, that's
fish.
running.
That's a good fish.
That's a good fish.
That's a good fish.
I'll chuck this back.
That's a better one.
That hit, Dad.
Yeah, that's a good fish.
Yeah, it's a good fish. Yeah. Oh, come on. You can't hear his drag, but that screamed off for about almost 30 seconds there. So that's a really good fish. Oh, it's bumping.
Hopefully it stays connected.
Yeah.
We realised that this wasn't a snapper when it started going from one side of the boat to the other, then back again, and again, over and over for 20 minutes until we finally saw some colour.
Oh, there we go.
I think you wouldn't want a big one, would you? There we go, everybody. Unfortunately, stinking old Mac tuna. At least it woke me up this morning. Anyway, he's going back. See you later.
Send him.
Oh, what a release. Oh.
All right. Just come up for another drift here, guys. Plastic is going down as we speak. I'm sending a pilchard down. Hopefully one of them gets hit by a big snapper. I do not want another Mac tuna, that's for sure.
Neither do I.
Yep, we're on. You want it?
No, we got it.
As we went over that show, the plastic came through it a bit later. Yeah, this is a little bit better. Not a monster at all, but you can put that in the rod holder if you want, Dad. But
Yeah, I'll just send it down for you. That's not going to be a giant.
no.
Be better than the last one though,
Yeah.
I think.
Hopefully it's about the same size as that first one we got.
That plastic's been cast 3 times and caught 3 fish.
Yeah, it has too. Oh, I think I'm getting close. Yeah, I got colour. All right,
Oh yeah.
but
Oh, geez. Only just alright.
yeah, not a monster at all. So there we go, guys. That's another fish on the pink 3-inch Z-Man minnows. As we've been saying lately, they've been absolutely slaying the fish for years, but lately we've been doing so well on it. So that wasn't a monster fish at all. We want some bigger ones, that's for sure, but I'll hold it up anyway for you. So there's that one. Once again, not a monster whatsoever. All right, well that's an action-packed first few drops anyway. As you might be able to see here, the sun is starting to come up, and it doesn't take much when that sun gets up in the sky for these fish to shut down. So we are expecting sooner or later we'll probably stop getting bites, even though it is still early. We're fishing in about 40 meters of water, and here on the Gold Coast it's a little bit different to other places like up on the Sunshine Coast where we've been fishing a bit recently, where you can get fish during the day. Obviously you can down here too, but the real hot bites seem to shut down a little bit after the sun comes up. So what we'll do is, if we can't get a bigger fish here, or if the fish shut down, we're going to try and head out to the 36 fathoms, which is about 60 meters deep. Oh, this fish clean jumping out of the water. Tuna or something.
Yeah.
Don't hook another one.
I do not want another one.
So yeah, what happens is out there the fish can bite a bit later into the morning because it's a bit deeper, and also often there's bigger schools out there and bigger fish. So We'll see how we go here for a little bit, but if not, we might head out there. But fingers crossed you see us get a big one.
Now, apologies for the glare on the screen, but we've moved out to some reef in about 60 metres of water now, and as soon as we arrived, this is what we saw. Shows such as this one are exactly what you're looking for when snapper fishing. As you can see, it's thicker and larger than the ones we saw earlier, with a bit of red colouring in it, but it's also sitting 10 to 15 metres up off the bottom. The couple of individual blue arches below it are most likely decent snapper. Here's another look at that show as we came off the back end of it. We were confident that we'd get hit on the drop as we floated our pilchard baits down on these fish, so that's exactly what we did.
Good on you, Dad. As you can see that show on the sounder there, guys, up off the bottom, that's exactly what Dad has just floated down on.
It's not a big fish. Hopefully it's panning today will do me.
Yeah. Need the net?
Nah.
I'll float down then, I think.
Yeah,
Let's look at him. Oh yeah.
Nothing to write home about.
Nothing to write home about, but a couple of very tasty fillets on him.
As soon as it got in that show, it was on.
Yeah. Good fish.
Oh, good. Yep, that's a better one.
Yeah.
Hopefully it stays like that.
Well, it hit it alright anyway. It's fighting a bit weird. Yeah, nothing to write home about, but it hit hard. Not bad. Not bad. So there's another one, guys. That's two since we've just come out here. A little bit wider. You're seeing there's those shows on the sounder, and we are simply just dropping our baits down right on top of them, slowly. So I'll show you our rig in a second, but it's good that I can finally show you, we'll start to show you what we look for on the sounder and what we're seeing while we're fishing, so that's good. They're all tasty anyway, put it that way. That's two very nice chunky little fillets there.
Once again, sorry for the glare on the screen here, but this is another great example of the type of shows that we're fishing. This one is more along the bottom, maybe a couple of metres up off the structure, but anytime you see these thick or balled up schools of fish, you'll usually find snapper and other species feeding around them. I told Dad to get ready for a bite, and sure enough.
Oh, that took it. You'll have it, surely. Oh yeah. Another panny. So there's shows all through this area, guys, as you just saw before on the sounder. So we're doing a longer drift over this reef, but yeah, there's fish all the way through here. So every time we're dropping down on top of a show that we drift over, one of us is getting one, or both of us.
There we go.
That might be a better one, slightly. I wasn't far down then, eh?
Well, let's hope it's a bigger one up off the bottom.
Yeah. Feels a bit better. Not huge, but how are you going? Yeah, mine will be a tiny bit better. Tiny bit.
That's a little bit better.
Yeah, nice.
That's a little bit better. That's what we come out here for.
Mine will be too. I think my second hook has just come around and got him in the side.
Opening mine too.
But before that, he was putting up a good account for himself.
Right, that one.
Yeah, I think he's better.
Is that on the mullet?
No, pilly. Just a little pilly. He's a bit better. Oh, he's only just hooked. Get the net. Oh, stay in. Got him.
A little bit better.
A little bit better. Here's a bit of an interesting one for you guys. We have talked about it before in the videos, and I was showing you the rig before, but we use a Snell rig, and as you can see there, that has only just pinned him, actually foul hooked him in the end. Now he was definitely hooked in the mouth at the start, and I think that top hook has come out, and the bottom one luckily had him pinned in the side. So if we didn't have that snell rig there that's come around and pinned him in the side, we would have lost that fish when the hook pulled out of its mouth. But that's a little bit better. That's more what we're after. Let me hold him up for you. So that's the click sinker again, doing the damage, getting us down in the zone. We haven't had to change it today, but since we moved out deeper, some days you can easily just clip that off and clip a heavier one on, or if you go in closer, we might clip a lighter one on later. It's really good you don't have to retie your knots, but there's a little bit better snapper for you. Happy with that one, and Dad's got a tiny bit better one as well, similar to this.
Nice panties. And as I'm talking, there's another show on the sound, so
oh yeah, good show.
Time to go down.
Well, there's two more nice ones. Not monsters, but very tasty, as I was saying. So
you'll notice we've come out deeper, and in shallower, that plastic was nearly every cast was getting the fish. We haven't changed the jig head weight over, and it stopped getting bite. So what we'll do soon is we'll put a heavier jig head on, things we're out in deeper water, and see if we can get it down into that zone a bit better.
Yeah. Just give us a look. So we saw a fish floating around. It's one of those little pinky things, or ornate threadfin brim or something they're called. Threadfin brim, I don't know. But anyway, it's been sharks. Jeez. Now I got a question the other day asking how fast we drive while we're trying to sound around. Now, the slower you go, the better reading you're going to get of your sounder. So if we're pulling up on a spot that might just be like a really small bommy or something that we want a really accurate reading of, or if we just pull up to our mark in the morning and we want to have a bit of a search around, we'll go as slow as we can, just in gear, to try and find some fish or bait on the sounder and get a really good reading. Now, if we're struggling, or if we want to cover some ground and try and locate some bait if it's really dead, we will go a little bit faster and put the boat in gear. For example, I might just up the speed a bit to cover ground a bit quicker, like I did just there. But once we hit some bait, like if I'm going this speed and all of a sudden I start to see a bit of a show, I'll pull it right back and slow down and get a really good reading. And as well as that, we have our GPS matched up, so when we see that bait, we can go just around the other side of it. We know exactly where we are. The slower you go, the more accurate your GPS is as well. So we go just the other side of it, give our baits and lures time to get down, basically pull up and start dropping. So that answers that question. The slower you go, the better reading you get, but sometimes you do want to go a little bit faster to cover ground. So we've just put a bit bigger plastic on, 5-inch with a heavier jig head. And I've got a bit bigger bit of mullet here too, to try and weed through those smaller fish and get a bigger one. They're good eating size, but those larger ones are just amazing on the plate. So
with thick shows of bait like this all around the area, we were pretty confident we were about to hook up again and finish off our bag.
So Dad just lost a nice fish there, sadly. But as we were saying, we put this bigger plastic on with a heavier jig head out here. It's a bit deeper water, and first cast, it's been hit, and it might be a little bit better fish, we're hoping. Bit of weight there, so hasn't taken a screaming run or anything, but might be a little bit better, so fingers crossed. Having this rod dangling out the back, bouncing with the swell, really does increase your chances. This hooked well.
Oh yeah, nice panty.
Yeah. So as you can see there, put that 5-inch paddle tail plastic on. That's a Z-Man as well. And even fish that size will still hit it happily. He smacked it in the rod holder. But you're also with the chance of a bit bigger fish as well. But anyway, you can only catch what's there. That's all there is to it. And today seems to be this sort of smaller, panty size fish. But anyway, that's all right. Alright guys, so that brings us to the end of the fishing action. That was a great bag of panties we got there, and once you get them home and take the fillets off them, you realise that they're nice chunky little fish anyway. So even though they looked smaller, they weren't bad, and they're all delicious. We got a couple of great feeds for the family. Now I'm going to show you the actual sounder that we use, but first I want to show you a couple more examples of things that we're looking for out there on the reef. This patch of reef is around the bommy that I showed you earlier in the video.
If you look closely at the area that I've circled here, you can see that it's more rough, jagged reef rather than hard and bouldery, with a bit of life in between it too. Now this is great for your species like tuskfish, Moses perch, Maori cod, and even grassy sweetlip as you head further north. Here's another example here where it's more rough reef with some life right along the bottom. If you see this while you're drifting, it's good to drop your baits right to the bottom, but beware, it can be quite snaggy. Here's something else I wanted to show you. This is a great reading of a few snapper sitting on a bit of a lump as we slowly drifted over them. It just goes to show that snapper can show up nicely as arches, lines, or dots on the sounder too at times. Now our sounder unit is this one here, a Raymarine A50D. So it has a nice screen protector for the sun and scratches, and then that's it. It's got some buttons over here. It's not touch screen. Small screen, that's my hand. Not a big screen, but gets the job done. So this is a sounder and GPS unit in one. So we can split screen and have our sounder on one side so we can see what's going on underneath us, and the GPS on the other side of the screen so that we can see where we are. Now it is only a smaller screen and sounder, and that's because we don't have that much space on the dash of the boat, as I'll show you here. And this is it compared to the rest of the dash. As you can see, there's not much space between the windshield. We don't have a lot of space here for screens, so works well. So it just fits nicely up the front. We can take it on and off if we want to, and yeah, just as I said, doesn't take up as much space as some of these new massive big screens. Now this sounder only has sonar down scan, but that's all we've ever really needed, especially on the offshore grounds. You know, you don't need your side scan or anything fancy like that, and it's just been working for us for years and years and years, and we've felt no need to change it because, as you can tell, we catch enough fish as it is and we're happy with it. Now it can't read at speed up on the plane like some of the new sounders with through-hole transducers and things like that, but for example, the spot that we were fishing early this morning in this video, we actually found that while we were trolling at about 6 knots for mackerel. So we ran over that ground and marked it, came back another day and started catching snapper off it. So you still can get a good reading at a little bit of speed, but just not flat out when you're driving up on the plane. But to be honest, we're not complaining too much about that. As you can see, it shows up the bait really well, and it can show you how thick it is, how far up off the bottom it is. It shows the structure really well. And we do see fish on it, like we've seen mackerel and marlin on it before, put a bait down and caught them. We've seen snapper on it before, put a bait down and caught them. So no matter what sounder you get, you're going to have to learn how different fish show up on it, and over time we've just learnt that through seeing them and catching them, and you know, you take note of what they look like. So it works well for us. A lot of people look at it and go, what the heck is that little grey box you've got? But yeah, as I said, it works really well for us. We have no problems with it, and it catches us plenty of fish, so we're happy with it. It just goes to show that you guys don't need to go out and spend heaps and heaps of money on the high-end gear if you can't afford it. Like, that is not an expensive sounder at all. It's old school, and we still catch plenty of fish, so you guys can too if you don't want to spend money on the high-end gear. Alright, if you've liked this video guys and you want to see more videos like this showing you what we're seeing on the sounder, make sure you leave a comment below and let me know. If you have learnt something or enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and leave a like rating. It helps me out more than you could imagine, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until next time, tight lines and good luck out there.